How's it going out there, everybody? It is Thursday, April 16th, 2020, and it is a great day to be a junior Potter. Mr. Parrott here with your rundown of how things are going to work today. General announcements, as always, right up top here. Attendance form by 11 a.m. Please make sure that you are doing that so we can have everything assured that you're checking in and everything. You should hopefully be waking up by 11 o'clock, so make sure that you are doing that. Even though I noticed some of you turning in your assignments at like midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. Switch that schedule up. That's not a good schedule to keep. Trust me, I know. The thing for just other general stuff, make sure you're keeping up with your assignments. Things are now being graded in every class, and we have a protocol of how things will work. Remember, generally, if you're not completing the stuff right now, that could mean that you're going to have to complete it at some point. So make sure that you're just doing it now. If you need to, you can resubmit assignments to get a higher score. Just make sure that you let your teacher know that you are resubmitting something or that you've redone it so that they have a chance to go back and relook at it. Sometimes it's not always as clear when you go to resubmit something. So make sure to let them know if you're doing that. But that option is always available during this time frame where we're not in actual class there. Let's get down to business. On Tuesday, you are filling out your stuff concerning your different things of what it means to be alive. And that's what we're going to take a look at today with our Pear Deck notes, is what it means to be living versus non-living, and then some of our higher classifications of what does that link to with ecology and how we look at things like populations and a community and an ecosystem and the bigger things of like biomes and those places where plants and animals live. So let's take a look at some of those things. And let me switch up some of my screens here. There we go. Now I got myself going on there. So what we're going to take a look at today is what is technically called biotic and abiotic. So let's do the repeat after me thing. Biotic, biotic, biotic. What that means is that those are living things. And as you can see from over here, the living things are going to be things such as our plants, animals, fungus, bacteria, and for a lot of the stuff that you looked at yesterday, a lot of you clearly identified those as living things as your examples. The non-living things are what is called abiotic. Let's do the repeat after me thing on that part. Abiotic, abiotic, abiotic. We got to add some of those classroom elements back into it somehow there. And for our abiotic things, that means that it's non-living. Those are over on this side of the screen now. Those are our stuff that a lot of you also identified as things being non-living examples the other day. So it seems like we got a good handle of what's living versus non-living for the most part. It's in the example there, it's like the water, soil, air, planets, sunlight, minerals, rocks, dirt, metal, utensils. There's a bunch of different examples going on with that. Along with that, though, and the main thing of what you had to do was come up with characteristics that mean that it was living. And here is the compiled list of a bunch of things that you said meant that it was living. Nope, that's not it. That's me getting the picture there. Oh, I had it a part of this the whole time. Here we go. And here are the characteristics that you came up with. Let me move myself back into the other corner here. Bloop. There we go. And as you can see, you came up with a lot of things, which is good. There's a lot of repeats in there. There's a lot of things that we've talked about in the past, which is what I wanted to see when we're looking at the characteristics. In the realm of biology and in the realm of studying life and living things, there are only 6 characteristics. 6, there you go, that makes a little bit more sense. 6 characteristics that make something a living thing. And you must have all 6 of these things in order to be considered a living thing. If you only have 5, you're not a living thing. If you have 3, you're not a living thing. You must have all 6 of these. And as you can see, I've highlighted some of them in here because we actually came up with, in a roundabout way, all 6 of them as you go through. And as you're looking through the Pear Deck notes, you're going to take a look at some of these things. Some of these things include having cells. We mentioned that at the very beginning of the year. That's why we kick it off with cells after scientific method, is because all living things must possess those cells. Even the single-celled bacteria to the multicellular plants and animals, they all have cells. Second, we must be able to reproduce. We talked about mitosis, so we already kind of covered that part. We must be able to grow. That involves mitosis again, forming one cell into 2 cells. Every living organism must be able to grow at least in size or in number of cells. Now, bacteria don't grow in number of cells, but they do grow a little bit bigger, so they still count there. We need energy. We mentioned that when we looked at photosynthesis and cellular respiration earlier in the year, how we use that food to make energy. I've highlighted DNA. Now, DNA, while DNA itself is not specific to it, what it is that we use different types of chemicals to help us. DNA being one of them, protein being another. We can look at all those macromolecules that we had. You can even look at things like oxygen, but not all things need oxygen, so that's why we can't say oxygen in itself. So usually we say we just need chemicals in general. We need these molecules to help keep us alive. And one other thing that is the 6th characteristic, which is a little bit weird to understand, we need to be able to respond to things in the environment, which a lot of you gave specific examples to, like saying something moves can be a response, but not everything moves. Saying that things, speak, that speaking could be a response to something. Saying something feels pain could be a response to something. Having adaptations could be a response to something. You need to be able to, we have a much larger kind of generalized topic for that. So you must be able to react and respond to things happening around you. We call it a stimulus versus a response. If something happens, you have a reaction to it. You're not devoid of reacting to something. And even things like plants do this. If you notice when the sun, certain flowers, they will lean towards where the sun is. If you put it in like a room or something, it'll go to where the sunlight is because that's their response to needing the sunlight. They will bend that way. They can't actually pick up their roots like some kind of weird plant monster and move them towards there. No, they will actually bend themselves to that. It's called phototropism, I believe. I'd have to look that up again. But it is their way of moving towards the light with it. Now, what you're going to do today for your assignment is you're going to dig a little bit deeper into these notes by looking at our Pear Deck stuff. And the link is up on the classroom post. Let me try and find the classroom post here for all of you to see. There it is again. So you've got 3 different ways to join up. There's this link right here that should be active as soon as I post it today. You should be able to click that. It'll sign you right back in. If you need to re-sign in with Google, you just got to re-sign in with your Google account. If it asks you for a join code, it's right there. You can always go to peardeck.com as well and join that way and just put in the code. You can put in the code there. I've also attached it. It does not show that it is linked to Pear Deck because it automatically goes to sign in with your Google account. But that is what this link is down there as well. You've done one of these before, and most of you ended up completing it with no problem, so I expect similar results there. But if you do ever have a problem, make sure you let me know so I can help you as soon as possible. So remember how it looks. There's going to be a pink box in the slide that has the question that has to deal with the things that are on the slide. You just type in your answer over on the side. Let me switch myself here so you can see it. And as soon as you have the answer, watch the corner where it says slide 2 out of 15. Boom, it has a check mark. As soon as you have that check mark, you are good to go on to the next one. It has saved your progress. So for each one of these, boom, check mark. And some of them we just have, multiple choice for some of them. I did include a drawing one in there so you can have fun doing some drawing on things. And you can just draw right over the slide to show me your drawing. That's okay to do it that way. Otherwise, I would have had to create a new slide for it. But so you can just draw right over the top of it as you're doing that one there. But you're going to go all the way through the What is Life section, and then it's going to get into the breakdown of our different levels of organization and doing some new levels of organization as well, looking at populations, communities, species, biomes, ecosystems, all those things going on in there, which is what we're going to be talking about in the next upcoming weeks. So that is your rundown of things happening today. Make sure if you have any questions that you feel free to talk to me. And always remember, it is a great day to be a junior Potter.